Here is a Hunter Waldon ceiling fan. This is a 52-inch model, white with, I think they call it light oak and reversible white blades. This has been installed here since around maybe 2012 or 2013. Doesn't really see much use anymore. This room has served varying purposes over the years. For a while it had a television set in here. Well, it still does have a television set in here, but it had a bigger one and a couch in here. Now it just has these beds. I think at one point there was a computer in here. So this saw some use for a couple years, and then the room just stopped being used, and now it doesn't really see any more use. But I know people like to see cheap modern fans, so I'll record it again. It is flush mounted, which I don't like because it cuts down on the performance, and it's usually noisier that way. This is one of those 5 minutes fans, and I just think that it's kind of on the cheap side, especially for Hunter. The blades really aren't that secure. You can see no, you can't see it. They're free to move around, and the iron's not bending, so the blades are drooped. But it's not because the irons are bent or because the blades themselves are warping. It's just because it's not it's just not secured very well. You know, it should be kind of like that, and it's down like that. So, it's kind of ridiculous. And there was some weird advertisement on the package. I think it was called Dust Armor Blades. And they claimed that they weren't supposed to get dusty, but it looks pretty dusty to me, especially for a fan that doesn't get a whole lot of hours on it. Something's not quite right with the way the box is installed, because it doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling, but whatever. All the other ones are like that too in this house. I don't know why. It's got, I think it's one of the very few things outside of the lights in my room that are still incandescent in this house. I think it's got incandescent bulbs. I've certainly never replaced them. I don't think they've ever gone out on this. So I think they're candelabra too. It seems to come on instantly. It's got to be a incandescent bulb still, and the coloring isn't weird. It's not a very good light though, because the shade blocks most of the light, and a little bit of light goes up on the ceiling, but you can see, look how much light it blocks. So it doesn't do a whole lot for the, to illuminate the room that well. It's very dark in here. Even with the light on, it's just dark. It's very cloudy today. So, anyways, this string works fine, but this one is kind of hard to pull because it's some funny routed thing through the middle of it. Very noisy. Quite a distinct hum. I'm not sure why it's making that. Didn't always do that. That could be something to do with the mounting too. I didn't know this until recently, but apparently that motor housing design is kind of old, and there's Hunter models that go back, I think, over 2 decades ago that used that same design. The airflow is okay. I'd say it's kind of average. could also be, well, I know it is, largely hindered by the fact that it's so close to the ceiling. The blade clock isn't really perfect. I don't know, is that because the irons are bent? I don't know, it's hard to tell. I don't think the irons are bent. I think it's just the way that the blades attach to them. Alright, let's go down to the medium. Seems to get substantially quieter on the medium. It's a pretty big drop in speed. And I've noticed that in a lot of the ceiling fans, the high speed is really kind of an outlier, and medium is much closer to the slow speed. Still got that motor hum to it. It's too bad the motor is so loud because not a lot of air noise at this speed. Oh, it's not really a lot of air either. The other thing I don't like about these kind of lights is you get all bugs in them every now and again. I wonder if this isn't centered. It looks to me like the chain is kind of over to the left a little bit. I don't know how to... Oh, maybe you can just move it over? I don't know. It looks better like that. I think that's straight now. Okay, it's on the low now, and inherently it's blowing around a lot of dust. It's pretty quiet on low. You can feel a slight breeze. It's very slow for a newer fan. It's quite pleasant. Let's see if I can lock the focus. There we go. Or the exposure, rather. It's not a terrible fan, but it's definitely not the Hunter of years ago. I guess there's a slight motor hum, but it's not really noticeable. I just really don't like the way that is. It doesn't seem to work very well at all. I think it's still on. The chains are cool, at least. They have the different logos. for the fan and the light. The bearings seem to be good still. Still quiet and still free.